Have it. The question now is that Part 4, which is debate on clauses 63 through to 81E, be agreed to.
Mr Chairman.
I call the Honourable Minister Christopher Finlayson.
I apologise for that confusion to Catherine Delahunt here. We'd actually done some good work together and I should have made that clearer earlier. Part 4 deals with recognition of places of historic, cultural and ancestral significance. There are a couple of minor changes in subpart 1, changes the name of the register to the New Zealand Heritage List, Rārangi Kōrero, introduces importantly the concept of wāhi tūpuna as a new type of entry, and what we try and do here is introduce the concept of expert independent assessors to make recommendations both to Heritage New Zealand and the Māori Heritage Council. It also, Mr Chair, provides that local authorities must have particular regard, that's the phrase, particular regard, to Heritage New Zealand and the Māori Heritage Council's recommendations on historic areas and wāhi tapu areas. Subpart 2 is, one doesn't want to be sort of over the top, but I suggest, Mr Chair, that subpart 2 is actually quite an exciting proposal. What it does is it requires the establishment of a list of national historical landmarks, which will be called, surprise, surprise, the landmarks list. And what we want to do there is to promote an appreciation and conservation of the places of greatest heritage value to the people of New Zealand. Initially, we thought about having a finite number, but what we want to do is, through local authorities, private individuals, central government, work together to draw up a list. Let me give a most recent example from a commemoration I attended some time ago, a few months ago, the Battle of Ōrākau. There is an example of something that is a very important historic landmark, and yet it's a field, part of a farm, and what we want to do is recognise this history, and we can go from there to do something about making sure people know where they are and why they're important. So it's not simply limited to buildings, but it can be a place. The SOP sets out various provisions relating to landowners' interests. For example, I refer to clause 75.4. The Heritage New Zealand must recognise landowners' interests insofar as they're known. And a couple of other consequential improvements, Mr Chair. For example, the SOP broadens the scope to reject an application to review an entry on the landmark list. So, and there are a couple of technical changes. So I really think, Mr Chair, that subpart 2 will be of tremendous benefit to this country as we get together and through a very careful process, establish these landmarks, something like the National Historic Landmarks in the United States, and that will provide a very good foundation, for example, when we're looking at protecting earthquake-prone buildings or dealing with sites like the site of the Battle of Ōrākau. Make sure that these places are treasured for the benefit of all New Zealanders.
I call the Honourable Marianne Street.
Thank you very much, Mr Chairman. Part 4 is of